All right. We can do this again. We can do it again if you want.
Let's just start all over from scratch.
Fine. Welcome to the Elk Season Podcast, episode 31. We are the Chambers Brothers. My name is Harold.
I'm David.
And today on the Elk Season Podcast.
Tidbits.
Yeah.
Things left out of the conversation from this last year. You know, this particular season, the podcast season, is winding down too. We just have through December.
Yeah.
And season 1 will be wrapping. So, we're not talking about the ending. We're just talking about things that have been left off, maybe back burner stuff. And we have a few things in our conversation. I tried to combine
Conversation and folder?
No.
Oh.
Conservation and conversation.
Oh, the conservation conversation.
Yeah, and I got tongue
Gotcha.
twisted. Anyway, so we have some conservation conversation. I had to slow it down because I can't do that together. But anyway, so there's things. We'll talk about things, tidbits.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get back to talking about the ecosystem, the conservation side of things. Wolves in Colorado are a big deal, and they're going to be a big deal for at least 10 years, 10, 15 years. We are going to be talking about the devastating effect of wolves in Colorado to elk populations. They're really going to trim the elk populations down, and they probably need to come down a little bit.
And I think it'll make the population herds healthier.
Of course it will. Yeah.
You know, we as human beings are concerned, we can only do so much in terms of conservation because nature really can work on its own processes if we allow it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We don't have the information this time. But your tidbit there just sparked a memory in me. I saw something coming out of Washington State, and I don't know what it means. I don't know if it was just an opinion post or something, but something about how in Washington State they may not need hunters for conservation efforts anymore. And I think it was an agenda item.
Yeah.
But it made me wonder. So if I see it, I'll read more up on it because it seemed like what's the angle there? Because that doesn't seem correct.
That doesn't. Yeah. There's something fishy about that.
So more on that if I see it. And maybe it's a non-issue. You know how the internet is. Sometimes it's like, hey, let's see if this gains traction, and if it doesn't, it goes away.
Yeah, and I all I can say about the wolf population in Colorado is that, you know, the very first wolf pups born in Colorado in recent times in the past 50 years was 2022. And Colorado has more elk than Idaho and Montana put together.
Jeez.
There's so many Rocky Mountains in the Rocky Mountain State, Colorado.
My goodness.
And there's so many elk. And so
ship some up here.
The elk the wolf population is really going to explode. Really going to grow fast over the next 10 years. And you're going to hear all kinds of crazy things. All kinds of crazy rumors. You know, wolves kill people.
They chased me through my house.
Wolves will probably eat your children if they go to public schools. Wolves, you know, you'll hear all kinds of crazy, ridiculous things.
You'll probably actually see a sheep. I'm sorry, I screwed that up. See, I was trying to make a pun. You'll probably actually see a wolf wearing some sheep clothes.
Sure. We can get him a costume.
That fell flat. Like, just omit that. Like, we can get that in post, right?
Yes, we will. If there's no follow-up questions, it doesn't exist.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see, because we went through it. We went through it in Montana and Idaho, and Wyoming in the Intermountain Northwest. I just lived and grew up the past more than 25 years having a wolf conversation, and I love the wolf conversation. I don't think there's an end to it, but I really like the conversation. I like what wolves bring, and I want to hunt wolves. And someday in Colorado, you're going to be able to hunt wolves someday soon. Yeah. I believe.
And if you're under a certain age in your lifetime.
Yeah. I think in my lifetime we'll be able to hunt, or at least put in for a hunt for grizzly bear.
Possibly.
If we want to.
If we want to.
Right, we should be able to put in. So there already have been people who have put in for those hunts, but not anyone who's been able to successfully actually hunt grizzly bear. Not successfully harvest.
Right.
Successfully hunt. I mean, just even hunt.
Because
So, but it will happen. It will happen. And elk season is dedicated to bringing grizzly bears back to California. That is really important. That is at one of the top of my list. It really is. And
Tell me more.
I think people need to respect nature. And if you ever been to Lake Tahoe,
I've been through there.
yeah, you see how much they respect nature. And there's trails everywhere, and people just walk with impunity through wild country.
Yeah.
And they should have a little bit more respect for wild places. I mean, the weather can hurt you, and has hurt plenty.
Yeah.
But you need a little more respect for wild things. And I think I don't think there was wolves in the Sierra Nevadas. I don't believe there were. There was no elk, and there isn't now, which is strange because you have the Roosevelt elk on the coast,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you have the Rocky Mountain elk in the Intermountains.
Yeah.
But in the Sierra Nevadas, there were no elk.
Huh.
That's the way I understand it. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
I've got a book that probably tells about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I know that's the Sierra Nevada is where Bigfoot's from, I think. Right?
Well, that's where his mailing address is.
That's where I send my Christmas list every year.
Right?
No, wasn't that the Patterson film? Wasn't it the Patterson film? Are you familiar with the Patterson film? Do you follow Bigfoot at all?
Like, if I could find him, I'd follow him.
Just his footsteps.
I followed him on Facebook when I was on Facebook, but then I lost him again.
Well, he's not on Facebook anymore. So I think the Patterson film was Northern California.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Sierra Nevada.
It's the classic, most iconic image.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, and since you brought up the Bigfoot stuff, I keep seeing headlines, and it's all clickbait, like the best footage ever of Bigfoot, and it's the worst footage ever. It's like,
ever. Yeah.
Show me the Patterson film.
Yeah.
At least humor me there. Like, if you're going to have me click on this stupid video that doesn't have anything distinguishable in it other than a tree right in my way, make me think that I'm going to watch a really cool video and then switch it to the Patterson film. Then I'll be like, oh, that's great. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, either that or Rickroll me.
Yeah.
Something. Give me something.
Never going to give that up, man.
I saw a video of guys who just were shaking and frightened because of a figure in the trees.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the video. I'm like, that's just a dude in a hoodie. You know that, right?
Oh, I've seen that one.
Just a dude in a
That
hoodie.
was Greg. He was coming over to my place.
Yeah. He was just on his way. It's like, you know where I'm camped at. Just
And some of these people just manufacture that crap. So you can't buy what the internet sells you, except unless it's on Amazon. But
yeah, unless we're selling it to you.
or that.
Well, you have to take a broad data and make your own decisions.
And I can't encourage you enough to get more context. That's what a lot of people will make decisions because they're not getting off of simple data. They're not getting enough context. I got this from what I perceived as a trusted source, and I run with it.
Yeah.
And then your brain tells you should make more exorbitant claims about what you know and what you think you know, and then you become a Dunning-Kruger. So just be careful. Don't do that.
Can I give you an example?
Crap, this is about me, isn't it?
The number one product Walmart needs to stock its shelves with when a hurricane's coming is strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Ugh.
So I know. So and that's a fact. That's a statistic, right?
Maybe.
Did you know that?
You've told me that before.
Yeah, I've told you.
I'm
that
just
before.
disappointed because they should be cherry Pop-Tarts.
I know. I read it in a book. Does that mean the number one product is strawberry Pop-Tarts? No. It means that Walmart is undersupplied on strawberry Pop-Tarts and needs to be oversupplied on strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
They don't sell more Pop-Tarts than bottled water during a hurricane.
No.
They just run out of Pop-Tarts first. That's why they need to order it. But so that's the context of that data point. You're like, well, they just run, how many strawberry Pop-Tarts they keep on hand, right? They don't have a pallet, right? They don't, but they got pallets of water. So that's all. You just a little bit of context to the data. Data's fun,
but more context is always better than just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just
and now that we've suffered through more than 25. I want to say suffered. We have been through more than 25 years of wolf reintroduction. And there are some fantastic books. Decade of the Wolf, I would recommend.
Yeah.
And Wolfer by Carter Niebuhr, which was free on my Amazon, on my Audible.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, yeah, just if you want to listen. And I did. And so and books like that, we've grown up with the wolves, and they're okay. Yes, they kill a lot of elk. And yes, if we keep the wolves numbers down, we can keep the elk number up. And we want to manage that up.
And sometimes wolves will kill livestock.
Yes, yeah. And we want to manage all those things appropriately.
Yeah.
But it's not a one-sided story.
No.
It's, sometimes they kill livestock. And we got to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
And that means, the pack gets scrambled up or whatever happens. And same thing with grizzly bears and mountain lions.
Yeah.
But the wolves hunt in packs, and they're scary, and they've been vilified in culture for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah.
So they got an unfair rap, but I love them, and I think it's going to be very curious how Colorado, because there's so much more people in Colorado.
Yeah.
And because there's so many Rocky Mountains, and the way Colorado has its zoning for homes means that you can have a home in the woods.
Yeah.
That's why people are always posting picture of elk in their yard.
Yeah.
That is where the clash is going to come.
Yeah.
Because if there's a dog in that yard,
Yep.
that dog's going to be in some really big trouble if it thinks it can warn off a pack of wolves. And then we're gonna have some ring video of elk being killed.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
We've already seen some ring video of elk being killed.
Yeah. Have we?
On a porch by like a bear or something. There was somewhere.
There was a mountain lion.
That's what it was.
There was a mountain lion that got a whitetail.
Yeah.
That was awesome. But I'd love to see a pack of wolves take on an elk and devour it in somebody's driveway
while they're barbecuing.
Right, and a lot of times it's just at night. But it's going to change a lot of things. It's going to change the elk habits.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, and this is really, really what happened. A lot of people go, oh, we always hunt here. This is where we hunt. This is where the elk are. I know where to hunt. Let's go where the elk are. The wolves come in. The elk are gone. The wolves must have killed them all.
Right.
The wolves killed them all. There used to be so many elk here, and the wolves have killed them all. So you're telling me you see wolves, but you don't see elk? What are the wolves living on?
Yeah.
I mean,
their preferred meal is an elk.
Yeah.
The wolves are a sign that you're in elk country.
Yeah.
The wolves are a good sign.
So it is a good sign, and it could be a good sign too, especially in places like Colorado where there's a lot of private land.
Yeah.
And the elk know to be on the private land during hunting season. The wolves can't read the no hunting sign. And
Correct.
They can push those elk back onto public land.
We need to think of it as a symbiosis.
Very much. Very much.
All of us working together, and when you one-sided, it takes away. It leads to that very issue. The elk change their behavior. We talked about that study. I can't remember which university published it. It was out of Wyoming or Montana or something about the elk habits and how they change with the correlation of hunting season.
Yes, that was out of Utah.
Utah,
yeah.
So, we have
which is something we knew for years.
Yeah.
Ever since I was 8.
When I talk about research in like psychology, and we can talk about behaviorism because that's what that study is, even though it comes from the biology realm, they're just simply talking about stuff that is within the realm that I talk about in my classes. And it's about, oh crap, where did my thought go?
Private land, public land, elk pushing, wolves pushing elk to.
I must be getting older. My brain just totally dropped that off.
No, you're not.
There was a really good point there.
I'm sorry.
And cliffhanger. Maybe there's a carrot for that coming back. I don't know.
So I'm just excited to see where this goes, and I know I've already probably talked about it too much already today.
I think I was just trying to get to the idea that we push the elk around as much as any other animal would, but I don't. It's gone. It was a lost cause today.
Yeah, I think we do push them around for a few weeks at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't push them around in August.
Nah.
I mean, essentially, right? We don't push them around in May.
But ultimately, I think my biggest lesson on, we know wolves exist where we hunt. You and I. We've seen them. We've heard them.
Yeah.
We've seen the elk populations shift around up there.
Yeah.
In various ways. But what's the elk's what's the wolf's influence on that? I haven't seen it to be anything concerning. The biggest thing that I'm concerned over is the pressure from hunters.
Yeah.
And what did we learn this year?
2 years ago, you could just buy a tag for the area we hunt.
Yeah.
So, but for the past 2 years, you had to draw. And so they're limiting the number of people from out of state that can hunt this draw.
Yeah.
And we have, in the past 10 years, watched the number of elk in this particular area sort of dwindle.
Yeah.
Sort of get light. And I think just in the past 2 years,
Yeah.
we've seen that population increase.
Yeah. So last year was the worst year we had in terms of getting out and spotting animals and having encounters. But there was also the other aspect of laziness that we addressed this year.
Yeah.
And even though we had just a small window of time, like I can't wait. I'm going to wait, but I'm very much looking forward to next fall.
Yeah.
And going to that zone because I know now what I have to do. And that is my goal. Yes, stay in shape, don't skip leg day, but it's more or less the psychological game of don't let yourself talk yourself out of getting up and out on the trail.
Yeah.
Get out early and get up early and beat you want to be in position the moment any kind of headlight starts showing up at that trailhead.
Yeah. Yeah. Being first. I'm having a hard time thinking of a time when we knew people were in front of us on the trail.
We've done pretty good.
Yeah.
But we needed to be that much earlier on a lot of those times.
We did.
And we finally really nailed that down.
Yeah.
We were exactly where we needed to be. A lot of times we would go to our little lean tree.
Yeah.
And we'd wait till the sunrise.
Yeah.
And that was the problem.
That was also a mistake. Yeah.
Because we needed to keep going.
Yeah. And another 45 minutes.
Yeah. And that would have made all the difference all those years.
When it's in your head that it's an hour hike or it's a real hour of hard work, and when you say hike, I mean hard work. But it's really 2 hours to get to elevation, and then it's hard work. It's hard work to stay up that high.
Not really to stay.
Oh, it's not hard work. It's hard work. Doing the side hills, going around and stuff. It's still hard work. It's not easy. That's my point. It's not easy by any stretch.
It gets easier once you're up there, but you do have the little ups and downs as you navigate the elevation where the elk are at.
Yeah,
but
there's still plenty of work.
As long as you don't lose too much elevation. I think what made it harder this year, the rain gauge or the rain gouges, the little washes, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're already tired up at that elevation, and you're like, I've got to think differently on how I'm traverse this landscape, and that's taxing, surprisingly more taxing than I thought it would be.
Yeah, just walking. I don't know. What do we lose? 20 feet in elevation and had to regain it?
Yeah,
that's work.
Yeah, that's effort. You get to that point in your hike, and your body and consciously and unconsciously, you're starting to take tabs on how much effort you're going to have to put into any movement.
Right. How much energy do I have, and how fast can I move and keep moving until the job's done?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we hadn't really addressed from September is my strain. I had a whoop that I wore on the weekend where I shot my elk. And I had a 17 strain. You need a lot of context for that. But a good workout, a good CrossFit workout is a 10 or 12. And we climbed Mount Bora, it was a 21. It was just off the chart, or the top of the chart. And when I got my elk, it was, first of all, just hiking the meat from the kill spot to camp was registered on my Whoop as a CrossFit workout.
Yeah.
My Whoop goes, hey, you had a good workout this morning. It was about this long and it took this much work. I will post some information from my Whoop on YouTube, and you can look at it. And I can show Sunday as well. But my Whoop broke, and because I'm rough on things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my wife. My wife doesn't want to get me a smartwatch because I batter everything, and it was hardy. And I mean, but when you're wrenching into sticking into an engine compartment or something, and you're not thinking about it, it just gets smacked up. But I found my Apple health gauge from that day and the day before, and from the day of Sunday, September 18th, 2022. I walked how many steps?
32,999.
32,000. One more. I couldn't do one more.
Important update.
Yeah.
It says here, on average, you're walking more this year compared to last year.
No kidding. Yeah. Well, this September, especially doing some more. And I've been training a lot more for running. So, but I don't take my phone running with me when I'm at the gym, I guess. But it is it's surprising when I saw that. What do people want to get? You want to get 5,000 steps a day? You want to get 10,000 steps a day? You want to get 50,000 steps a week? What's your goal on your step? I don't know. I don't have those. Those aren't my goals. But when I saw 32,999 steps,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it was 11 hours of really nonstop. And really, CrossFit trained me a lot for this. I've been doing CrossFit for a long time. And when you do a CrossFit workout, you have to think, how fast can I do this and still keep going?
Yeah.
Right? You can run out of energy. And of course, I don't train all day. How long can I go all day? So I've changed the way I pace my hikes a lot, because I think, can I sustain this?
Yeah.
Can I do this all day? And the answer is, sometimes no. No, but I know if I get up to elevation, it's just 2 hours. Can I sustain this for 2 hours?
Yeah.
Right. What that's going to do to my energy level for the rest of the day? Have I had enough water? Do I feel healthy enough? Do my legs, my legs good? All that stuff. But when I woke up and I had to pack out an elk. I woke up, I know where my elk is, I know everything I have to do, and it from where I was, it sounded easy.
Yeah.
Right? You remember, you know exactly
Yeah.
where I was when I woke up on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I had to hike up to that rocky outcrop twice,
Yeah.
and I had to hike down to the car 5 times or 3 times. From there.
I'm sorry. I'm mapping it out in my brain because I'm hiking up that mountain because I did it in September and Labor Day weekend, but
Yeah.
just trying to, you did it how many times?
Yeah, so
3 times, 4 times?
So when I woke up, I had to go from the creek to the rock outcrop twice.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hike up, pick up meat, come down. Hike up, pick up meat, come down.
Yeah.
Now everything's across the creek. Now I have 3 trips. I have camp gear and two backpacks full of meat. So I hiked all of the meat down to the halfway point, which is just where the creeks come together.
Yep.
And then I hiked all the way back up. I think that was the longest leg. I hiked all the way back up. I grabbed the second set of meat. I hiked all the way down to where the creeks cross.
Yep.
I turn around. I hike all the way back up to the creek, and now I can get my gear.
Yeah.
I get all my gear. I hike from that spot all the way to the car. 2 legs at once. So I get all my stuff at the car, and I'm shaking my backpack upside down to get every twig out of it. I want it so light.
Yes, you do.
That I cannot feel it hiking up, and so few extra things, and I'm literally hiking with only the water I need to drink that leg of the trip, because I just wanted to minimize. I don't think it helped. It may have helped. It helped me mentally, but what helped me mentally was waking up and knowing I just have to go. There are some workouts, you know what? It's going to end, but you have to keep working. You just have to keep working. And so I woke up. I knew I'd had my last meal the night before. My last full meal. And so everywhere I go, you hike, you drink and snack, hike, drink and snack, hike, drink and snack. I didn't have a single meal, and my pace was not energetic at all. My pace from the very beginning,
very calculated pace.
Very calculated. And hike it when you hike from the creek up to the rock outcrop.
Yeah,
there's the place where we saw that carcass right there in the middle, just after you cross the creek. When we hiked out 10 years ago. We found a carcass.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Right there. And cutting through that field is and I had to do it in the dark, and man, I totally got lost. I totally
Wow.
got, because the trail that goes through there is very not
it's-
very well marked.
Yeah, it's questionable.
But I hiked it 4 times that, between hiking in and hiking out that weekend.
Yeah.
I hiked it 4 times. So now I really know, oh yeah, this is, you want to get this here, go here, and
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
That's been a theme of this year. Once the more you hike a terrain, the more you figure out its nuances, and you can get in and out,
Yeah.
and you know what's nice and what concerns you're going to have. I mean, just the mere fact that we hiked in there the way we did Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah.
We just found that super highway that just made it.
Yeah.
It's still a workout, but
I knew it was there. I only used it to get out, not get in.
yeah,
But just last minute, because we were with Jared.
Yeah.
I'm like, the hike in the other way is a little hefty, and that was a great hike in. It
Yeah.
was a good hike in. So I had a ton of experience. It was a really, really long day, but during this hike, I saw a snake on the trail.
yeah.
And I see a lot of snakes on the trail. Mostly they're little, I don't know, garter snakes or
Yeah,
whatever you call them. But I came across a snake, and it'll be on YouTube. But I called it in a video. I said, this is an Idaho constrictor. That's what I called it. And when you
Yeah.
say that, you ever heard of an Idaho constrictor? People go, yeah,
What?
he's crazy. But then I realized, where it comes from. It's a rubber boa.
Yeah.
And it's an Idaho boa constrictor. So I actually had footage on my phone of a boa constrictor on the trail
Yeah.
in high altitude in September, and it's chilly.
Yeah.
And I still have on my phone my daughter. They have the local college, the College of Southern Idaho here
Yep.
in Twin Falls. It's a really great resource for the community.
It's this neat little hub that's really underutilized,
Oh,
I think.
man.
Underappreciated.
They had a reptile day, and I love taking my kids out and having them do different things. So I took my autistic child. I think she was 17 or 18 at the time.
Yeah.
And I took my 2 or 3 year old at the time, and we just want to go. They let you handle snakes and lizards.
Yeah.
Right. And let's get over this fear real quick.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually, my daughter is handling a snake, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it was surprising.
Okay.
But everybody's handling snakes. So she's like, well, everybody's handling snakes.
Sweet.
I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
So she's actually holding a rubber boa, as the instructor from CSI is saying, this is a rubber boa. This is a snake native to Idaho, but it's usually found at higher altitudes.
There you go.
Those words are on my phone
Yeah, that's-
when I saw that snake.
You showed me that video to
Yeah.
help me get some context for what you had seen.
Yeah, and I'll show that too. I don't think I'll have the guy's voice on there, but you can see my daughter holding
Yeah.
this snake that looks, I mean, like they're brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, all those snakes look alike.
They clearly have a distinctive look.
Yeah, yeah, and it was really fascinating to see, because I love all the things in nature.
Yeah.
And so there was still some cows up there. So when we hiked up there Labor Day weekend, there was a lot of cows. There was a lot of cows up
That's
up
right.
in that country.
Because when I caught up with you and Jared, there was actually cows right behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we, it's not a big deal, but I came in the next week, and there were still lots of cows. I came in the third weekend, and I'm like, oh, you can tell that they ran the cows out of here.
Really?
Yeah, there's so many tracks that, the way the cattle move on the trail.
Yeah.
They really make
Tear
a
it up.
presence.
Yeah.
They really tear up that trail. And so I was surprised to see even more cattle, because I'm like, oh, good, there won't be any cattle up here. But I guess they have to make more than one trip to run the cattle out of
I've
the
run
high
into the
country.
guys that are looking for cattle up there before.
Yeah,
I've hiked out and just see some people looking, and I think a couple of guys were Mexican and they didn't speak English, so we were trying to communicate, and they're like, "I think you were with me."
I was.
Yeah, and they're like, "Have you seen
were
the
mending
cows?"
The trail. There was a part of the piece of the trail that had been destroyed, and so they were up there with their tools, fixing the trail to bring the cattle out. Yeah.
So,
and so that was interesting. I'm trying to think of anything Labor Day weekend that stood out.
other than the coughing session and the near heart attack apparently of Jared, I'm so disappointed how I wasn't sick, but I couldn't stop coughing.
It was awful. Yeah. I did make I'll have to put these all on TikToks. They're all TikToks. But I just like, okay, I just left camp. It's Saturday morning. You know, Jared smokes like a chimney, and David has an upper respiratory infection, and once in a while he just and so I go, hey, I have an idea. Let's split up. Because it just it was a lot of racket. There was a lot of noise. And also too, it was a good idea. It was a good idea. Jared said, I don't think I left camp more than 100 yards that whole time, because you guys always came back for lunch, and we always sat around and had a good lunch.
Yeah.
You guys always came back for dinner. And he goes, I loved it, and I was relaxed.
Yeah.
And everything was good. So anyway.
And unfortunately I don't have anything that I can think of that would be left off other than, you know, that fantastic little, I think we talked about it already, that truck stop in Arco. Am I okay to say Arco?
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't talked about that. That was next level.
Yeah.
That was like a hidden gem.
Yeah, so
I thought about that meal for days.
Yeah, and I still think about it.
Yeah.
And what's funny is I was thinking about the meal before I ever had it.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned something similar, but our family stopped to fill up gas there and used not to fill up gas, but to use the bathroom on our way to our family reunion in Montana. So we stopped there, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they have a restaurant in there, and I smell all the greasy food, and I'm just thinking it's a gas station restaurant, but not like you see, like it's diner style almost. It spoke my language.
Yeah.
And I didn't have time to get anything. We were headed on to Du Bois after that, and that's where we got lunch, and I was disappointed because Du Bois didn't have anything. But we stopped in after Labor Day weekend, and we were able to get some food there. And oh my gosh, it was.
So I've gotten food from there before, but it was out of the hot bins.
Oh yeah.
Right, get some chicken and some potato
Yeah,
spears.
so they'll do some deep fried stuff that's ready to grab, and you can just go pay for it and go.
And it's solid.
Yeah.
It's solid. I mean, I actually had unfinished chicken tenders in my car.
Oh, delicious.
After I brought my elk down.
Okay.
I had to toss them. I thought maybe I'm hungry enough. It's been cold enough. They'll be fine.
My brain heard unfinished, and I was thinking they didn't cook them all the way through.
No,
that wasn't it.
I didn't eat them all.
No, I figured that out. I was just
they were not uncooked.
my
They were just
my
undercooked.
brain goes literal sometimes when I don't ask it to. It's like I would take those back.
And so they're good. It's solid food. But there was something about walking in there, and the truck stop is insanely busy.
Yeah.
It's a huge place. And the people that work behind the counter are obviously locals.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
How you have locals, you have to have locals to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But when I ordered a sandwich, I'm like, let's see what happens. Man,
It was
home cooked. It was so good. I
yeah.
thought about that meal all the way home. I thought about it for
I'm
days.
thinking about it now. In fact,
Yeah.
I think we need to end the podcast early and let's just go.
That was a really good meal. Yeah.
I wish there were more places like that more frequently. They just don't do it.
Yeah, then it wouldn't make that one special.
That's true.
Maybe if we weren't hungry, if we hadn't been away.
Yeah. 5 days hacking up
days.
lungs and
only two of us brought food.
right.
Maybe it wouldn't have tasted the same, but that's what do they say? Hunger is the greatest seasoning? Something
like that. Yeah. 'Cause there are some things that I've eaten that I did not want, but I ate it and I loved it because I was hungry. Elk burger being one of them.
Yeah.
Back in high school, and that's a story I've shared before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so hungry, but we have no food in the home, and Mom's like, "Eat that elk burger so and so brought over," and I'm like, "Elk burger," But I'm a hungry teenage boy, and I cooked it up, and I was like blown away, like this.
Yeah.
And I've been. My journey in a weird way has been to get elk burger for myself, and I still have not done that.
It's good. I'll bring some to you.
But that's not
I
my.
probably should have brought some tonight.
Did you hear what elk burger for myself?
For yourself. I got it. I know.
But I would appreciate.
I know you'd appreciate it. Just a reminder of what it might taste like. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
That's all.
But yeah, and then it's a far cry. That place, that truck stop is a far cry from McDonald's, which is a solid stop when we go to our other location. But it's McDonald's.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We know what we're getting.
Yeah.
And it's sodium.
Should we start going through some articles?
Yeah. What you got? See if I remember.
An elk in Yellowstone was spotted with a bra attached to its antlers.
Yeah, there's actually a video.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody just hung it up to dry or whatever, but an elk wandered through and had a bra on his antlers.
You didn't see the other video? The one with the blurred out lady chasing him?
Nope, I did not. And I searched for hours.
There's no video like that.
Probably not.
It's always kind of funny to hear or see. It's not funny because honestly, this is what happens when you have the interaction of wildlife and humans. You're going to have these kinds of things.
It's an ecosystem interface.
You go back to the 80s, maybe even before then. I just remember this being a big thing in the 80s. The ducks with the pops, the soda pop rings around their necks. And
we got
to, again, we don't know how this elk came about this bra. I'm not saying that somebody just carelessly left it out.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying the elk was frisky either. I'm not saying the elk was going to switch teams. Like, you know what? I mean, cows are cool and all that, but have you seen a human woman? I don't know.
Hey, this one comes from Idaho Department of Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. For Idahoans, hunting is always a fresh experience. Renew your adventurous spirit today.
Yes. So a couple things I noted from this. It is Idaho.
Yes.
It is paid for. It is a sponsored ad.
Oh, yeah, it does say that.
They are paying Facebook to get people to buy hunting licenses.
Wow.
That's an important note.
Yeah.
That, to me, this is signaling, we want sportsmen.
Yeah.
So I like to see that. I like to see that they're actively looking for, that's advertisement. They want money.
Yeah.
They want a return on that investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my note from that. They need more sportsmen, and they need more like apprentices or trainings and stuff like that. I would train everybody. I really would. But I don't know what I'm doing and I'm busy. Other than that, I would train everybody.
Sure. Me too, actually.
I mean via TikTok. Go into TikTok. If I have anything to teach you, it's not there. Except how to make a quesadilla. And elk season is about
quesadillas, really.
It's really about having quesadillas. It's really about having the absolute best time of your life when you're practicing the greatest outdoor sport in North America, archery elk. That's really about maximizing your experience. And if quesadillas are a part of that, so be it. If spam singles aren't, you should try.
Look, you're starting to lose me.
Yeah. I know. You don't like the spam singles, do you?
No, I was actually trying to play into the trope that if you don't have spam singles, I'm not going to be there. I was just trying to support your cause there.
Okay.
You said, so be it if you have a quesadilla, and if you don't have spam singles, I'm like, well, hold on. I was trying to support the whole spam thing.
Okay.
Anyway, I'd like the spam with bacon and cheese bits. If they could do those in individual slices, that would be, I'd go there for a couple seasons.
A spam quesadilla is so good.
As long as you fry the spam first. Like,
Sure.
I want that spam to have a nice char on it.
Yeah.
Fried spam is so good.
It is.
I haven't had
Get
it
a little crispy.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling you.
Yeah. Find out why your sleep sucks outdoors and how to change that. There are 3 secrets many people haven't considered. Sleeping outdoors can be comfortable and restful every time if you know these 3 things. And there's a caveat. I want to know what you know about this, and then I have something else that I'm wondering if that comes up in what you know. So go ahead.
What comes up with what I know from what you've taught me is sleep like a dolphin.
Kind of, yeah.
Is when you sleep in unfamiliar places,
yes,
your brain, half of your brain sleeps better than the other half of your brain, so that you can be alert to this new surroundings.
Yeah,
to new surroundings. Yeah,
it's a evolutionary survival need that you have in a new place,
and it points to principle number 1 of elk season. It's just practice.
Yeah,
you practice sleeping outside in a tent. Practice sleeping in a hammock.
It's true. Yeah.
Practice all those things, and even if you're in your own backyard, you'll wake up occasionally
Yeah.
and go, "Oh, well, I know where I am. I know I'm safe." You go back to sleep. So
That's an yeah. So I was wondering if you go there. That's exactly where my mind went, was the way you sleep ready for being alert. And so that's kind of cool that you bring that right back up. And yes, rehearsal can help you sort of habituate to that condition, so it's less of an impact. Because it sucks. One time it hit me so hard, I was waking up every 30 minutes, and I barely got any sleep that night. And I fell asleep at 20 yards with a spike that came up right to me.
yeah. Oh man, that was such a good setup.
20 yards. I had all these different places. I'm like, there's no way I'll come right to that spot. And I hear the dunk, dunk, dunk. And I look up because I'm like, oh, what? Huh? It was right there.
Oh, man. Anyway, man, you are going to regret that until you got meat in the freezer. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Meat in the freezer, and then we'll laugh it off.
And it was a spike. He would have been so tasty.
Oh, but it's so good. So good.
He looked straight at me, and he even let me start pulling the string back.
He's a nice guy.
And then I fumbled the string, and I didn't keep the tension on it, so the string pulled my hand back. Ooh. And that little motion was all he needed to go, oh, I'm out. Because I was just like, I'm just going to pull and let it go. I'd sat there and I practiced everything, and I got everything set up, and I knew exactly how far away it was. I'm deadly with a 20-yard pin, according to my
20
arrow
yards,
stop.
standing still, broadside.
Well, it would have been a front quarter, but
okay.
But I think it would have been, I think it was a worthwhile shot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. That was a good weekend.
Yeah, it was though, because that was our first time really understanding and appreciating calling tactics.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really came to fruition.
Some heavy studying on calling tactics. And I have a news source on calling tactics, which I haven't looked into yet. A friend of mine who goes to the gym said, "Oh, have you heard about this guy?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Oh, you got to check him out. He knows elk language. He's like the elk whisperer. He knows how to talk to him." So I will research that, and I'll bring some of that to you. Of course, I told all of our listeners,
yeah,
all 5, that I was gonna take my 5-year-old out. Man, that didn't happen. I told you I was gonna have some trail cams.
So disappointed.
A scouting report back. I'll get those cameras back next year once the snow melts. Well, most of it anyway. I hope.
Yeah.
Wasn't all melted when we put them up,
and it's already getting snow up there.
Oh yeah, it's too late.
Yeah,
it's too late to go now.
There's some beautiful elk on that. Just the elk we saw were impressive.
Yeah. And so, I say a lot of stuff. I got big plans. I got big dreams, but I'm still me. Can't hide from that.
Man, this mule deer in Helena.
Yeah.
On the Montanica page. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a nice muley. So we were born and raised in Helena, Montana, and just seeing any pictures from our hometown is fun. I really enjoy it. And I knew we'd seen mule deer occasionally.
Yeah, it was
in Helena, but they have in the past 25 years since we moved, they've really come out.
Huh?
And I don't know why, if it's just because I remember leaving high school and going hunting.
Yeah.
And now there are houses there.
Wow.
Right? And so, now that mule deer habitat is a super safe place.
Yeah.
And they're not hunted there, so they can kind of bleed into town a little bit more. And I have to think it plays a role. I don't want to say it's the entire reason, but it definitely plays a role in why we're looking at this. And when I was in Helena earlier this year, I was showing the wife and kids around Helena.
Yeah.
And there was some mule deer in people's yards.
Wow.
Between the train tracks and where Kmart used to be.
Oh, wow. We didn't go. So that's the one place I wanted to go through, and I didn't do it.
Yeah. Over there by the big train, the train station.
Because they have the train behind the fence over there. And
yeah.
Yeah, we never made it down there. Because there used to be rail tracks or tracks in the street down there. Wasn't there an old trolley that would go through town?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, on a brick.
Yeah.
It was a brick road. It's still a brick road.
Yeah.
That's where I know I told you where Hap's Bar was.
Yep.
And next to Hap's Cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right on that.
There used
Right
to be
on
a
the
pawn
railroad.
shop down there that had rattlesnakes.
Hobo Video.
Yeah.
A Hobo. It was was it Hobo? Hobo Video was the thing. It started as a video store and then it became a pawn shop.
Okay.
Then Hobo Video moved. Video stores used to be all mom and pop operations.
Oh.
Then they went corporate. Then they went out of business. You see the trend?
Right.
Life just needs to go back to everybody's got a mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Grizzly bear crashes wedding party, devouring a moose.
Yeah.
That sounds like a fun video.
Does it say where that happened?
It happened at a national park. Which national park? Glacier National Park. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it could have been. There's a lot of national parks in Alaska.
True. That is true.
But there's probably a lot more weddings in Glacier.
True.
So that's where I was kind of lost there. But yeah, killing and devouring a moose during a wedding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody's taking home memories that weekend.
Wow. And my buddy Jared, our buddy Jared lives just this
Stone's
close
throw
outside of Glacier National Park. And he has black bears. He has ring cameras of black bears on his back steps.
Yep.
And he swears there's grizzlies up there too. And I've seen them. I was up there visiting him. We went for a drive, maybe for 45 minutes on a dirt road. We saw 4 grizzlies.
Wow.
Yeah, a sow and 3 cubs, but there's still 4 of them.
Yeah. And you don't want to upset that mama.
Yeah, yeah.
She'll take you out.
Oh no. Yeah, it almost looked like one bear. Those cubs were so close to mom as she hurried across the road. You almost thought it was one.
Wow.
Until she goes down in the borrow pit and they kind of peel off and follow her really close.
Yeah, you want to be bear aware out there no matter where you're at, especially in California.
Not even 30 minutes earlier, Jared's saying, "Hey, you want to hike down? I'll show you my tree stand."
Yeah.
I go, "Dude, this is literally grizzly country. I'm okay hiking right at dusk in grizzly country and unarmed. I mean, I have nothing really.
Yeah.
I just came to visit. Oh no, I'll be right back. Okay, buddy, have a good time."
Yeah, hunters remember to be bear aware. Grizzly bears have the potential to be found anywhere in the western 2/3 of Montana.
Yeah.
So
2/3.
So archery season, I guess I did know this, but it's a good reminder. Archery season coincides with bears' intense fall foraging.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, we don't really have the grizzlies yet in our hunting areas that we hunt. But especially the first time we went into the place we went in Labor Day weekend, I went with you.
Yeah.
We got to where we had the encounter, that amazing encounter with that really aggressive bull. I got close, but it just never turned anything. But then we had to hike back to camp. And we hiked along the creek bed.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing the bear scat and all the berries because there's a lot of wild raspberries up there.
Yeah.
And I was like really nervous.
Yeah.
And then we actually saw a bear. Was it? Yeah, it was that time. We saw a bear.
It was actually Labor Day.
Yeah.
We decided to do one short hike in the morning and then come back.
Yeah.
And as we got closer to camp, we spooked them out.
Yep.
So, because we'd been there for a few days, and so when you have a smell in the same place for a few days, it might attract some curious visitors.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit concerned, but I do know bears in the fall. You talk about this aggressive feeding time before they go into hibernation, and that's why you see such gigantic scat piles.
Yeah.
You're like, that is one big pile of
scat.
It's amazing. But bears spend up to 18 hours a day eating.
Yeah.
In September. They
got to put on the weight.
That's when the berries are ripe, and nothing adds pounds like sugar.
And I know
berries,
from experience.
And you see, much experience.
Well, Halloween was just a few weeks ago.
Oh.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And so bears spend a lot of time eating. A lot of time.
I showed you my Gandalf, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. It was a good Gandalf.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's a hobbit to you.
Yeah. I agree.
I feel like a hobbit to you, and I'm not a little guy.
I agree.
What would he disagree with? I haven't finished my beer yet. How long ago did you finish your beer?
Before we started the first time.
Okay, it's gone now.
I don't know. I was like, it's the weekend. I'm having beer. Woo! And it's these are the last two Oktoberfest.
Really?
From my fridge. So you got the last one.
I'm grateful. That has a nice taste. Hearty and smooth, just like it says. Oktoberfest
Delicious.
by Samuel Adams. The guy who orchestrated the Tea Party, right? The Boston Tea Party? Wasn't
Yeah,
that Samuel Adams?
I don't know. Possibly.
Well, I don't
So-
know if that's the guy on the picture, but I know Samuel Adams was.
I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Boston Beer Company also does twisted tea.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I love that twisted tea stuff.
I got to look that up real quick. Because
Okay.
Because if you're saying something about the Boston Tea Party, that would make sense.
Yeah.
You know, if the Boston
You're just looking up Samuel Adams?
no, I'm looking up twisted tea.
Oh, okay. See who owns them.
Yeah. Anyway, there's probably more we should be talking about.
That's right. You
rather
give me
than
something to talk about. I'll talk while you Google.
You have seeing a wolverine in Yellowstone National Park is rare enough, much less seeing a pack chase down a grizzly bear. I think we did talk about this one time, but
Well, no, we haven't. We might have talked about it off the podcast, but we've talked about wolverines quite a few times this year because I said that a wolverine sighting is reported less often than a Bigfoot sighting. That's right, and that's my statistic. I mean, wolverines are exceedingly rare. So to put a little hyperbole on it, right? They're more rare than Bigfoot. We get more pictures of the wolverines, but we get fewer reported sightings.
wow.
And they're really, really high altitude. They're super solitary. So I wouldn't call it a pack of wolverines. I would call it a family. Maybe a mom and some pups. What do you call a baby wolverine? Since you're over there Googling. Don't worry. I'll have another question by the time you find the answer.
It's not owned by Boston Beer Company, so I was wrong.
Okay.
But now I can find your wolverines are hold on. Okay, Google. What do you call a wolverine baby?
Yeah.
Kids.
Kits.
Kits. Kits.
K-I-T, like kittens.
Kits or cubs.
Kits or cubs.
T
Okay.
with a T. Kits or
Okay.
cubs.
So that's what I would say. That's what I would say they saw in Yellowstone was a mom and some kits. But
That's a gnarly looking wolverine right there. I'll be honest.
that's a stock photo. If they did not take that picture of a wolverine. They're just like, hey, I saw a wolverine. Where's the stock photo? Let's put that up on the website.
I wasn't arguing where it came from. I was just saying that's a gnarly photo.
It is. And
I won't talk about it.
they're not dangerous to humans.
No.
There's that guy on Alone who killed one with a hatchet.
Oh yeah, I haven't finished that series. Thanks, spoiler.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's awesome. It's awesome.
You know, never mind. I was going to try to make a joke, but
To know a guy heard a wolverine in his meat stores and runs outside in the dark. They don't even have headlamps.
Yeah.
He runs outside in the dark with a hatchet and kills a wolverine. Man, that is permanent man card status. Irrevocable.
Hey, our last headline here is about chronic wasting disease in a white-tailed deer.
Yeah?
So out of Boise.
Really?
Idaho finds another deer with chronic wasting disease.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's just where the story's going.
That's the state we're in terms of our big game population having been exposed to, and now it's having some sort of spread or contagion amongst its viable hosts.
And they would like samples. If anybody has a sample, there's a process to go through their website to send them a sample of your animal for testing for CWD.
Have you done that?
I have not.
You should do that. They encouraged it for any hunters in the state of Idaho.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you can just take the elk meat and just take a sample. I don't know. I have to follow the steps. I haven't.
So that was right before you came home with or it was right after you came home with your kill.
Okay.
I had seen that posted, and so
Yeah.
look into that just in case.
All right. Well,
They say not to consume it, so that'll suck if it comes back positive. But they don't know
Really?
what'll happen. Yeah, they encourage, if it comes back with CWD, they say throw it away because they're not sure, how it may impact humans. They don't. Currently, it doesn't do anything, but there's always that concern that one of the variants jumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That would be such a bummer.
Yeah.
Such a bummer. And it's a real bummer to see chronic wasting disease in animals when people are camping or hunting and they can walk right up to them and push them over.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
If you ever have large game animals, big game animals, where you're just able to walk up to them, don't call Fish and Game and let them know they're there. Get a hold of them soon so they can.
Yeah.
Because that's tracking and understanding that situation is important.
Yeah.
For us to be able to conserve and maintain the outdoor activities we have, particularly including but not exclusive to the greatest outdoor sport in North America,
archery elk.
it's important that we play our part and do our job.
Right. It's important to be part of the greatest outdoor sportsmanship.
Try again.
Sportsman, greatest outdoor sportsman. To be a member of the greatest outdoor sportsmen is
Be good stewards of the greatest outdoor sports.
yeah. Right. You want to you're at the top of the list. Be at the top of the conservation list too, and be observant and take care. Leave no trace. Leave no trace.
At least not intentionally. Look, things can fall off packs and things like that happen, but pick up your trash.
Someone suggested I carve my initials in a tree.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Nah.
I don't want to do that.
What happened when I came across that really, do you remember we were
of course. Yeah.
We were hiking out from the cross.
Yeah.
And we came across a really old, and it wasn't really that old. It was actually had been used.
Yeah.
And it was a fire ring.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been there.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be
And what
there.
did I do?
Kicked it around.
I kicked it around.
Yeah. No trace means no trace.
I don't care that you might be coming back. Leave
I
no
know.
trace.
All those stacks of rocks on the trail up to Bora. Like, come on. I know it doesn't hurt anything to have them there, but knowing that you were here bothers me. Right? That's the whole point of leave no trace is I want to go to a place. I don't want anybody to ever know I was ever anywhere. And my initials or a fire ring would leave that. And no trace to me means no trace. It's a game of hide and seek. And I hope you never find me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that should be it.
that pretty much wraps us up. We're a couple minutes away from the deadline, but a good little tidbits show, and then we'll probably start getting back into the flow of things. I think we're done with the season. The tidbits were there, and now we just kind of what is it that's going to take us to the end of this particular season, and then what's the road ahead?
So there's the season. That's a good question. There's the season that we went through, and we've wrapped that up. So the season, we just didn't do any podcasting. We were just too busy.
Right.
So October and November, we start podcasting again, get our stuff together. Now we're going to get through the holidays and get caught up on all the other hunting that's going on.
Yeah.
And by January and February, we're going to have a lot more elk content that's coming out on YouTube from 2022, and we can compare that with our notes of how hot is it, how green are the leaves, how what's the timing and the timing
are
of the
people
rut.
noticing the same things we noticed?
Yeah.
Like our big lesson came in our last hunt. What are other people saying about their situations?
Yeah.
And were they just being less? I don't want to accuse a hunter of being lazy. This is not that. It's just I think because I think a lot of data that we get from other hunters comes from it's not that they were being lazy, but they got up too late.
Right.
And we tend to say lazy, but that's not really what's going on. Because
not.
I was never
It's
trying
not.
to be lazy, but I was just
Yeah.
trying to, I was making a calculation, and that calculation, if I'm consistent with it, is going to give me a certain data set. And until I change something about my behavior, I'm not going to get better data. And that's what we got, better data, because we changed our behavior.
Yeah.
And wow, did it open my eyes.
And there's gonna be a glut of 2022 content on YouTube coming up now that the hunting season's over, and so that is the future of the elk season podcast. We're gonna stay on top of elk news and wolf news and grizzly news and all throughout the western United States and what comes out on YouTube.
Yeah. So there's still more, depending on how many more shows we get in the rest of this year. But definitely next year we'll get that chance to sort of compare notes. I like that.
And I'm sure there's already 2022 content on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm really talking about Elk 101.
Oh, that's all I could think about too. Is like Elk 101. Their production is a little bit more. They have a lot of it.
Yeah, they have a lot of it, and it's really good content. And they have to put it all together to give us a serialized. Was it once or twice a week? They'll throw something out.
Yeah,
and it's fun to follow that, and that almost gets me through spring.
Yeah,
because you know that there's 2 episodes every week.
That was a big part of our initial offering of the podcast. Was just kind of watching that and kind of comparing notes to previous seasons. But now we're kind of doing it more real time with. Anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. So
So stay tuned to the Elk Season Podcast. Have a great week, everybody.
Cheers.
Goodbye.